here you go. You know, this is the finished product. But not quite. The next part we're going to learn is how to hide these strings. You never want to cut them off right at where they come out, or the knot's going to come untied and so is your project, and that's not fun. Trust me, I've had it done before. So you're going to need one of these. This is called a darning needle, or a tapestry needle rather, and you can't really call it a knitting needle because knitting needles are already used. These come in plastic and metal. I prefer metal, but I've lost all my metal ones and I'm left with a plastic one. Okay, so grab your end, you thread your needle like so. Take your project and just go in your project just about anywhere, just to make it look a little unconspicuous. And what you're going to do is find and follow your pattern. Alright, so I'm just going to put it through here. I'm going to follow this pattern until all the string on the needle is gone. And this is also a better way of discovering the anatomy of your knitting project. I think it's fascinating how this all works together to hold itself together. Alright. Now, since I used a large caliber needles to knit this with, I need to keep this nice and loose to keep it from binding up the project. Okay, once you've gone, a good length, you can cut it off right at the project, but be careful not to catch any other strings in the way. Snip. You can kind of pull it and work it, and that string is in there, and it will not come out unless you pull it out. If, in case of lack of a darning needle or tapestry needle, whichever, you can use a crochet hook, which, by the way, I'm not going to teach anybody how to crochet because I'm not very good at it. Maybe I'll have one of my friends teach you. Alright, do this the same for the other end. This is also a way to patch a hole if need be. You forgot a stitch or some other odd coincidence came about. You can follow it around and patch it up. And ta-da! All done, nice and pretty. Alright, so if you've gotten this far and maybe yours doesn't look quite like mine, I'd like to take a moment to embarrass myself and bring out my first knitting project. Alright, here it is. Alright, it is quite the work of art. It kind of folds over and it holds itself up. You can see how the ends, they go, and there's almost no pattern to it whatsoever, and there's holes all over the place, so just thought you all needed to see that. Okay, alright, so now you've got the basics down. I'm gonna tell you what usually people do for their first project. It's called a scarf. You should know of a scarf, I guess. I would suggest using needles around a size 8. Higher or lower, doesn't really matter. The smaller it is, the more warm it'll be. These are my first needles I used to make my first scarf. As you can see, they're mismatched, but they're the same size, and one is horrendously bent. And here's my first scarf. It looks okay. I don't wear it much because I wore it a lot and it's kind of worn now, but there are holes in it. Basically, it's just 25 stitches across. 25, count them, and make it about 5 to 6 feet long, which could take a while, no worries, depending on how tall you are or how proportioned you like your scarf. And that's it. You should be ready and set to go. Well, that's it for now. I'd like to be the first one to congratulate you on getting started. But first, a little bit of advertising. The first book that I used to get started, yes, chick book, I know, Stitch and Bitch, yeah. It has a lot of great patterns in the back, a lot of beginner patterns, a lot of intermediate patterns. One of the patterns I loved about the book was this beanie. It's a ribbed beanie. It's very nice. I love it. You know, awesomeness. And a book I just got out of the same series. It's Stitch, son of Stitch and Bitch. I really enjoyed it because it's more of a man's book with a female title. Not the point. And I got a great pattern out of it. It's an argyle scarf. It's reversible. I love it. These books also have step-by-step instructions. Let the camera focus here. They are very illustrated, very nice. They have everything you need to know, even history on knitting, and I'll have a video just for that sometime. So if you want some of that, you can go out and get it. I'm going to have tons of more videos about patterns I designed myself, and more stuff you're going to need to know about more advanced projects, just like all of these. My final word to everybody watching is I do not have a website, but I'll have one up soon, and you can check that out when I have it. Alright, thank you.